causes like a domino effect because like one person goes from one team to another, and then they take a player from another team, and then it just causes like a domino effect.
Transfers with no controls.
Every tournament being roster swaps and stuff like that, the casual viewer doesn't have time to just be, sitting on Battlefy all day long looking at shit.
Everyone was looking for a frag at this split, so it's a full circle.
4 months roster lock? That's fucking bullshit. That's bullshit.
The question is, just to clear it, are you still LFT or you found team?
No, I'm still LFT.
Jen Burton alone has more experience and skill than like any other team together. You know what I'm saying?
We saw NRG adding Gild back.
I mean, MT did tweet a photo of a burger, so burger might be returning for sure.
So to see Yanya with just full off the leash, just fragging capabilities with dropped IGLing him, I think it's going to be an awesome combo to watch.
What were, in your opinion, the 5 craziest Apex transfers in history of Apex? VP. Who is the third of VP right now as well? Oh my god, Monsoon. Greek?
Did you want it as a player or as a caster?
Give me both of them.
And Phony griefed my entire fucking tournament and ruined the entire tournament for me. We both griefed each other and both did terrible.
Yeah, fuck yeah, you know everything, Privacy. It's not surprising.
B-Stream.
B-Stream, I mean the fucking goats. Goats.
Just the boys.
Fucking losers.
Hello YouTube. So today we have a podcast with 3 of our guests. Today we have Phony, the IGL of XSSG. We have the Designful, who was the IGL. We don't know if he's still IGLing in. He was the IGL of DSG, and he's now teaming with Timmy and Jim Burton. And we have a Greek, and yep, I mean you can say green screen, whatever you wanna say. Greek with a B stream. Design is not answering. Is that guy real? Is that guy real? Holy fuck, we need a replacement for Design in that last seconds.
What up, what up?
Hello, Greek. I mean, we have a Design sleeping. not gonna be fun. We need the last minute sub for Design because he's sleeping.
I'm gonna ask Monsoon.
Monsoon? Okay. Phony, hi.
Hello.
Hello. We need a third because Design slept and he ditched us. For some reason, I need a third.
What a loser.
I got Monsoon.
You got him. Perfect.
Yeah.
And so on, and I have a very nice things that I stole it from Tempo, which is actually Tempo's post, not stealing it. We will start today with the topic, actually, Rostermania. It's a funny that, or not funny, it's sad at the same time, that 9 out of 12 NA teams that qualified to LAN directly from playoff, I'm not mentioning the 2 LCQ teams, they made the changes after split to playoff. You see just this graph here, you have every single team disbanded, one player went there, one player went here. There are some things are confirmed after his posts, that's an old one, but we have only LG, TSM and Furia did not make any changes. So the thing is, what and why so many changes? What is happening in Apex Comp? What is happening after every single major? There's something like that, big ones. What do you think about this one? I start with you, Phony, because you were affected by this.
I guess I would like to say that it's probably more of like a mental thing. A lot of the times it comes down to like mentality towards like the team. And most of these roster changes aren't even, a lot of people could say it's based on like solely mechanics or like maybe the play style is like different from what the team wants. But a lot of it really comes down to the mentality of like how the, like it's a 3-man game. So if one person feels indifferent, it really offsets the whole team. It's not like a 5-man game where if one person's indifferent, 4 people could help that one person. It becomes 2 against 1 most of the time in Apex, and it's kind of sad, but I mean, it is what it is. That's how the game is. If you don't have a coach, that's kind of how the game's built around. Comp-wise, it's a very stressful environment, so I can see why a lot of people, get checked out mentally and causes it to become a 2v1.
Okay, Greek, what factor actually makes or pushes teams into doing those type of moves, of transfers after these majors? What could be the factor? What could be the reason?
I think one thing that is like different from, let's say, split 2 or split 1 to champs this time around is that I think there's a huge time gap. So a lot of teams saw this as an opportunity of like, okay, if we choose to make a change now, we have, I think it's what, 3.5 months
Yeah.
till champs, which is
About 4,
usually, from split 2 to champs is never usually that big of a gap. So you see a lot of teams normally stay together. But I think now with the time gap, people were like, okay, we have a lot of time. We can make a decision and we can, build the chemistry, build the tactics, whatever we need to do because we have like a good chunk of time.
Is it only that, or is it because as well, like sometimes a player decides to move, to leave, and then it just makes kind of either he decides to move or to leave, or the other one could be like dropped. Is it because of that? Because I think Monsoon's situation, he didn't want to make a change. If Lou decided to stay and he wanted to stay, I don't think they would be doing a change, right, Monsoon? If Lou just wasn't anything, would you change him?
Nah. If he wanted to stay and play, then we would have played and sought it through. Because I mean, we worked hard the past 6 to 8 months to make it all happen in the first place, and it's kind of hard for me to justify, ripping the opportunity from somebody, especially if they want to stay and play and if they deserve it, So,
Sure.
Yeah.
I think another thing too is that whenever a team makes a change, it's usually a player that's already on like an active like LAN qualified roster, so it just causes like a domino effect because like one person goes from one team to another, and then they take a player from another team, and then it just causes like a domino effect.
Yep, could be. I mean, Monsoon, what was the reason that actually Lou decided to go? Did you talk about it before or something, or had the talks, team talks?
I mean, we kind of all understood how it was going to go, just because people had concerns with the team internally, and the team wasn't as happy with each other, just like every other team, you know what I'm saying? Every team has problems, and ultimately people and players try to problem solve to the best of their capabilities, and they all have visions, and however they think they go about it. And so we had talked about potential roster changes before Split 2 of Pro League, but ultimately I'm the deciding factor, and so we stuck it out, and Lou wanted to explore other options after, last LAN, especially with Greek was saying the time difference. It's 4 months. It's 4 months and 3 days from now is when it starts. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Kind of wanted to move past, and I wasn't gonna keep him either. So do whatever you want.
Good. Phony, what was in your case the situation? What happened, and could you not actually make it work together with the teammates? Could you just not stick together for one more, especially after winning? This is a little bit for me and for everyone here in the chat. A little bit feeling it is crazy, right? After a win, did you talk about it with the teams? Did you talk with a coach, with anyone? Anybody was in between?
I mean, I would like to say we could have stuck it out, but ultimately it's not really my decision if I'm the only one that really like believes we can stick it out. I didn't really argue my case whenever Zainu and Koi talked to each other, and then they came to me about how they felt. I never really argued my case about like trying to make things work. I agree on that, but it didn't seem like they wanted to like me to argue for that case. I'm not gonna lie. Like if I would have argued for that case, it still would have Zainu still would have felt how he felt, and I would have had no say. Like it was already done for. There was nothing I could have did for us to actually team together. Dawn came in too late to try to fix something that was already broken, and it was already broken, like I said. So Dawn was only there to help for that LAN, and there was nothing Dawn could have said or did for us to actually play together for champs. Like the kids already made up their mind of what they wanted. We all made up our mind of what we were gonna do, but of course, like winning a LAN, you would think you would rethink decisions, but it wasn't meant to be rethought.
Okay, so question to you just fast on this. Do you think if you had Dawn 3 months ago before even EWC, do you think that could have been continued until now even? After, I mean, doing good or okay or whatever, even doing bad at EWC doesn't matter, but like having a coach like Dawn that can try to work on that synergy and winning after that split 2 playoff. Do you think that Dawn could have made this kind of, the one that got broken, do you think he could have saved it before?
Yeah, I believe he genuinely could have.
Unlucky.
Coaches aren't really seen as valuable, but I feel like coaches are very valuable in this game. And I feel like Dawn was able to bring us together when we were so broken. So just imagine if he brought us together when we weren't broken, like when we were actually talking to each other and actually felt like a team. If he was there during that moment, I felt like no matter what was said to each other, Dawn would have put a stop to it immediately, and it wouldn't have grown from that, and we wouldn't have grown any resentment towards each other. And it was just too late by the time Dawn joined, so.
Unlucky. So the thing is, in this situation, for example, your situation, right? a team like an org like SSG lost a team and then they are now out of Epics, right? Or they can have to search again for a new team. So do you think, or I mean, I think this is could be for Greek because he knows about type things. Do you think having a org giving them the decision to for such a transfers, because that type of questions comes so often everywhere on Reddit, on YouTube comments, and Twitter's comments. Do you think giving orgs the power to make the decisions of the transfer, or making the spots of a pro league or a LAN tied to an org? And what should you do? What should you do to give an org such a power and to make them stay as well? Because orgs, if they have to make this power, they have to offer even players more, right? So they can have this type of power to make the players convert, and then to be in a good level of saying yes or no. We don't want this team to split and so on. What could be? Do you think is a good idea, or do you think it's not?
I don't know. I feel like in certain cases it could be, but I feel like in certain cases it couldn't be. I don't know. I feel like it's a very unique position for sure. And like, I don't think it could really be compared to like other games and how esports do it. Apex is just like so unique in that facet that I'm not really sure what the right answer is there. I know like a lot of times when it comes to like teams making a change or something of that sort, you know, an org doesn't really have, you know, one person based on just like one team. They're usually overseeing so many other things, so they might not know as well as the captain of the team or all the players on the team to be able to make that type of decision. I feel like not many orgs have like, you know, one Apex manager, one Dota manager, one blah blah blah. They're usually overseeing so many different things that they're not on top of everything as they should, you know? So it's tough to say.
Isn't it this one as well, like transfers with no controls is a little bit even hurting teams? They don't want to stay because they don't, no points is coming to the teams. Second is like viewership, right? Like a player like okay, this I'm wearing now Mizuchi, right? This Mizuchi, one of a less of a bad examples because that was a decision from the org not to be at the EWC, so Timmy did it. But like Timmy, Dojo, DSG, Mizuchi, it's not his mistakes, and Mizuchi mistake again, or not even his mistake, all of them. Moist, and now he is Dojo again, and if he gets signs another one. So there is players, they were always like, fans will be complaining about, I can't really buy a player's jersey. So I mean, does this one hurt the fans? Does this one hurt the viewerships as well, Monsoon, when there is a lot of transfers at the moment around and there is no way to stop that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of hard because obviously the narrative and the development of characters and teams is something that plays a big part of, you know, team identity. But when you have players like Timmy, I mean, Timmy is the identity. So you just, it's you know, every step of his legacy, you know what I'm saying? So I think it goes both ways. I think in a battle royale, it's particularly hard to kind of follow, you know, a specific team or org unless that team and org is just like so locked in, you know? Like you know, LG before, or I mean LG now, you know, or TSM before, or you know, even NRG, you know, they just get new teams every year or so, which is kind of difficult for that. But at the same time too, it's just how it goes, you know. So I think it can hurt in terms of like viewer investment in how they see the brand and the teams, but I think people are just super excited to see the different combinations of teams, especially because there's so many variables that go into the success of, you know, teams, especially in battle royales, you know. So I think it's kind of a trade-off, but yeah, I agree that it hurts, but it kind of picks up in other places too. Okay, if that makes sense.
Good. Now we will go a little bit of the rules. Then we will go for good. It doesn't matter if my camera frozen.
Well, can I add something? Can I add something on that topic?
Yes, please.
So like I talk about this with my chat pretty regularly. It goes off of what Monsoon said, where it picks up in other areas, but it also hurts a lot because, you know, with every tournament being roster swaps and stuff like that, the casual viewer doesn't have time to just be, you know, sitting on Battlefy all day long looking at shit. So it's like it makes it very hard for Apex fans to kind of pick a team to root for, and it sort of turns them into just rooting for a specific player rather than a team, which ultimately I think hurts orgs over time because they can't really build a fan base. If they're coming in for 3 months with a team, then they leave Apex for 3 months, then they come back in and they have a completely different roster. It's like it's very hard for them to build a fan base, which I feel like gives them less incentive to even want to be in Apex if they can even control how long they can have a team for. If like one day they have them for a split 1, then a split 2 they're gone, and then split 3 they have a complete brand new team. I feel like it's very hard for the viewership because they don't really ever build like a team to root for. They just kind of start rooting for specific players. But then you piggyback off the Timmy thing. It's like they're not trying to buy 5 different jerseys in a span of a year. So I think it is a big issue, but I'm not really sure how they could solve it. I do think there needs to be some sort of adjustment to how the roster locks go and shit like that. Because it's like it does give players freedom to be on different teams and they get different looks. But then in certain people's cases, like Phony and others, right, they might miss out on a tournament that they worked for because of that open space to make a transfer, you know? So it's tough. I think they need to find like a happy medium to adjust it. I'm just not sure what that answer would be.
There's just so many things. So, but I agree 100%.
I mean, you need the rules for the transfers to be applying. We talk now about the transfers because like you need the rules for the transfers. There are multiple stuff that can be sometimes fucked up. I think we can pick up a situation in the past that people complained about. There are so many situations, but I'm gonna pick two stuff only. One of them is Zanio's transfer to us in the to DZ in the past from Tex. People complained about it. Middle of a pro league, teams are gonna do it. So that is first of all, to solve such as things, you need to make, as dropped even wrote in the chat, you need to find a way where there's a maybe transfer window or a free agents play window where you can just know, okay, I'm free agent in this window and I'm gonna be able to transfer, not in the middle of the seasons, maybe after the seasons, maybe somewhere like 3 to 4 times in a year between after each pro league, after each major. That solves one of the issues similar to Zanio's. What do you think about this one, Phony? Would this one be good change?
I mean, I think it would be a good change because it'd give people, time. I don't feel like we had a lot of time in this one. The transfers were, it's ultimately up to the players, to make transfers in this. Like you said, it's not even up to the orgs. So when the players decide to make a transfer, they're limited on a bunch of time. I feel like if you're giving people enough time and like these break periods, like these free agents enough time and break periods, and it gives not only them the opportunity to find a team, but it gives the team and the other teams that also have teams opportunities to see if the players that they decide to choose are even the right fit for their team. They're given a week to decide, and they're not even deciding it. They're just going off of it, And as sexist as it is to say, like I fell into that hole of not being picked because I'm an IGL, so I'm not set for any of these roles that these people are looking for. Bleed's looking for a fragger, that's why they dropped Shubi. Monsoon's looking for a fragger, that's why he dropped, or didn't drop, but that's why Lou left. Lou went to go join Zach, fragger, and it's all, everyone was looking for a fragger this split, so it's a full circle. And not necessarily everyone needs a fragger, but it is what it is. That's what it came down to, and they decided on a player. And their mind's set for the player, and there's nothing you can do to change it. They have to decide on a player. They can't test any players. They have to just go with it.
I mean, this is a little bit of issue will never be solved in only transfer window, right? Because the same issue will be happening all the time in a circle. But then we come to avoid an issues that people says about I didn't have a time. I mean, yes, it happens. For example, I know that I'm not going to talk about the topic today of a gens, but just like I mentioned in his example, Jen in his stream today said that he had only 6 days to find a team. I mean, like how would say, like theoretically he didn't have 6 days, but 9 days because there is a roster remove time, like deadline for removing, deadline for adding. The difference between those two is 3 days. And then he got, let's say, he knew 6 days in advance, so he had 9 days in total. Still, I don't think it's a good timings. But what a solution could be, I guess, if you make this difference between the removing and adding way bigger, you still have the people that got dropped have a little bit of a time to find a team, because other teams not gonna add, even though if they are trying out, not gonna add unless they are 100% sure on the move. So why don't you give 2 weeks in advance? I know that sometimes you don't have this type of times, right? Because you need to announce the groups of champs. You need to make sure, but that comes, all of it comes to one thing is the dropping phase. You need to make sure that teams are not dropping more than one player. They are complete for champs and they are ready to play for champs. They are locked. So why don't you make a little bit of a 2 weeks in between those, or 3 weeks even between dropping to adding? Will be this one solve any issues? What do you think here? I mean, and one of you
I
can
think
say.
it'll solve some issues, but I'm not gonna lie. It will solve some issues, but there's also the fact that, you know, these teams don't really have a proper setting to actually trial these teams. You know, the scrims probably wouldn't even start till probably like 3 weeks later, which would waste all that time. And the thing you could play is ranked, but you're playing ranked against plats or diamonds, and then the queues are taking like 20 years. There's cheaters. Like, the whole game itself for the competitive state is like very, very hard to even find a team or trial even teammates. You're given a deadline that's very short already, and if you extend it, you still have to make sure that minus Tempo, the one that literally organizes the scrims, starts scrims, but then there's people that are very lazy that won't even want to play the scrims, so you're missing days on scrims to even trial players. So it gives it very hard, you know, and not just on the players itself, but the game itself makes it very hard to trial people.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially now, like 4 months roster lock, that's fucking bullshit. That's bullshit. Everybody, like 9 out of 12 teams, like you said, made roster swaps. And what practice, like Phony said, what practice have we been able to have?
Nothing. You can't even get
like realistically nothing, right?
no fair trials as well. Like, you don't get tryout fair one. You don't have even time to get a fair tryout. Talking about the tryout now, we come to Phony. Everyone in my chat saying, what the fuck? How is Phony still free agent? FA. How are you LFT? The question is, just to clear it, are you still LFT or you found team?
No, I'm still LFT.
The fuck? Okay. What the fuck? So, okay, the tryouts, talking about tryouts, could you have a tryout yourself? Did you contact teams? Which teams did you have a talk? For example, who was like LF1? You had the Bleed was LF1 before. Now we know that who moved. We had the C9 was LF1. You had I mean, Liquid. If Yanya, what was like the whole rumors were already known. So Yanya, and I myself personally thought if Yanya is true, then it's URB the best fit. So can you tell us a little bit of that? Did you contact Team Liquid, for example?
I can tell you. I don't really care. I can tell you. I contacted these teams, and I contacted C9, and to Saucer, I was technically his third pick because he wanted to keep the IGL role. Okay. He didn't think that he needed a co-IGL. And he didn't want to lose the IGL role because he wanted to build his name around the IGL role, which is fine. I let it go. You know, I said thank you for the opportunity. I reached out to Bleed. I reached out to them because I know I would most likely have fucking good team chemistry and be able to co-IGL with Dropped, or even IGL and he co-IGLs, but he wanted a fragger, so that's why he settled on Yanya. I also reached out to other teams. I didn't reach out to EA because I personally don't think I'd be a good fit for Zach. I'd feel like it would be a waste of a champs for him. I don't want to do that to people. I reached out, you know, to Timmy, reached out to DSG. Bronzy reached out to me. Bronzy really wanted me. Yeah. But Design ultimately wanted, I don't know what the fuck. I personally think what they're doing is pretty dumb, but that's just me. I'm not even trying to be biased, but you know, saying that putting Timmy on an IGL role after you've tried it before and you expect them to learn it in 4 months, which you could definitely learn in 4 months. I fully believe he could learn in 4 months. But Design's already a good established IGL. Yeah, he might have some bad macro problems or, you know, some weird comp picks that could easily be fixed if he just wasn't so fucking stubborn. And, you know, you could be a good IGL off that. But, I mean, they decided to pick Jen Burden because Jen Burden, you know, ultimately, you know, don't want to bring it up, but he ultimately, you know, got dropped from the roster. You know, Walty joined the roster, so they felt like that was a better pickup suited for their team than me, which is fine. I don't have a problem if people think that, you know, some players are better suited for the team, then albeit, you know, it is what it is. My reputation also precedes me. I don't know if that's a factor in why they don't want me as a teammate, but my reputation of, you know, being a bad teammate towards Snipe individually after what was, you know, done. I don't know if that's a reputation that precedes me that, you know, separates me from being able to team with some of these teams. Or, you know, I don't know if, like, me teaming with, you know, Zainu Koi caused me to have a bad reputation just solely because of, you know, the statistics that were set in place. And even though I was IGLing really good, the statistics set in place for, to test, mechanics on, Apex Legends status, like, ultimately it looks like they're carrying me, which I fully agree. It looks like they're fucking carrying me. But when you're playing with two of the best fraggers in the world and you're set on a role where you're literally anchoring and IGLing on a crypto drone, it's very hard to even implement damage when by the time you get to the situation you want to implement damage, it's already done. You're playing with two of the best fraggers in the world. It's bound to happen. And when I was playing Seer, I was literally backlining, not being able to IGL. So I didn't even put out damage in that either. I put in a role where I have to IGL. Yeah, I'm realistically in a role where I should be anchoring or something because I'm literally not doing anything that provides for the team. But it is what it is. When you're playing with two of the best fraggers in the world, like I said, it's very hard to even move from that role and try to take that fragger role. And I'm pretty sure Zero had the same problem when he wanted to play crypto. Realistically he should be playing crypto, but he wants to play Bang because he's just mechanically gifted, and it's hard for him to give that Bang to someone else when he's the best Bang on the team. And then you have to put Jen on crypto, which I genuinely don't think Jen should even be on crypto. But people have to learn these roles, and I had to adjust to this role that I've never really done before, where I just sit in the back line most of the time and just let my teammates do everything for me. It's very hard to do stuff. I've reached out to plenty of teams. I reached out to Apex South teams. I reached out to Strrafing. I reached out to Gild. I reached out to VP. VP was already set with the roster. I reached out to Gild. They wanted me to fly over there. The timing's very bad. I'm still working on it. That's literally like my only offer. I reached out to Strrafing. He wanted a fragger. He didn't necessarily want like another person to co-IGL, which is perfectly fine. I reached out to all these teams. Like, it's not like I just sat on my ass for months and just like, I'm not going to get anything, I genuinely reached out to these teams to see if we can make things work. It sucks that we only had 2 weeks to find something, or technically 3 weeks to find something. But most of these teams already had their mind set on who they particularly wanted, what role they wanted to fill, And I just happened to be one of the players that got dropped, where I was one of the few IGLs that got dropped besides Yanya. But Yanya has that fragger mentality, I was set on a team with two of the best fraggers in the world. So that fragger mentality was literally limited both lands. So it was very hard for me to even showcase anything.
Okay, what stops you from flying? Because you mentioned like Gild and flying to Gild. What stops you? I think is it financial issue?
It wasn't necessarily a financial issue because we just won land. Like I could technically, I could write it off and pay it. No, it's fine. I could write it off and pay it off. But I have a wife. I have fucking family over here that I need to take care of, provide for. I have dogs I need to provide for. Like, if I leave over there for 2 months, that's a business move, right? But morally, where I stand, like, if I have to miss champs to take care of my family, I would 100% take care of my family, then fuck my business, And that's just where I'm set in place right now, because I'm set in a position where I put my faith in not only my wife, but God himself to take over and look over for us. So if my decision is to go to champs for 2 months and leave everyone here stressed, then it's just something morally I don't feel right to do. Which I'm still trying to make it work right now. I'm trying to go there for BLGS for 2 weeks, come back home, go back again for 2 more weeks, come back home, and then play scrims with them in champs on ping and everything. And in champs we show up, we show out, and if that works, that works. If they're able to do that, then by all means, it's meant for us. But otherwise, staying here.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. Like, okay, you could make it as yes, it will cost you more money, I agree, but you go like 2 weeks, do it, go in for like a 1 week, take a break, and then go another 2-3 weeks and do it, and so on. BLGS, compete, keep competing, because I mean, it will hurt not to see you on champs. Not gonna lie, it will hurt. Yeah. We will see this one.
I feel like that's just the issue, is that in such a short notice, he has to find accommodation for a place to stay, be able to book it out for at least a month to a month and a half.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to book 2 separate flights, and then on top of it, he has to figure out how to even get a setup there. If he can even like build a PC, how he would get the part ship, whatever he has to do. It's a lot in like a short span of time.
Yeah. You just need to find even
the teams that want him want him to play BLGS. Yeah. It's not just scrimming with them online and then just showing up for champs. They want to play BLGS too, so then it's even more like accommodation that he has to do.
Good. My chat is asking about, have you reached out to TSM, which is, I don't think it's a valid question to ask.
I reached out to Jordan and them, and well, I reached out to Jordan to see if anything was happening, because I'm best cool with Jordan. Of course, you're supposed to reach out to Tomish, the coach, but Jordan has been in the game for so long, he knows exactly what he wants on a team. So if he feels like his teammates are the best fit for his team, then he's not gonna make a change, you know. So I reached out to Jordan and I asked him, you know, what's the situation looking like? How's it? You know, are you guys good? Like, are you guys chilling? He's like, yeah, we're gonna look to stick it out, brother. I'm sorry. And then, you know, he was trying to help me find stuff. Strrafing was one of the people that was trying to help me find stuff. Dawn was trying to help me find stuff. Draugr was trying to help me find stuff. And nothing was really working out. I reached out to Furia because they were telling me to reach out to Furia. You know, Manus and them, you know, they feel like they're doing good. You know, they were stressed. You know, they had their fucking bad scrims and shit. And they had a bad set at land. But I ultimately think if Manus isn't emotional, they would be, you know, one of the best teams in the game. You know, IGLing wise. Like if he just doesn't let that shit affect them, and they would be really good. So that would be huge for me, but you know, it's ultimately up to them. It's not up to me. I'm not here to corrupt teams and make them, you know, take, you know, indifferences about each other and, you know, make them turn against each other just because I need a fucking team. No, like it is the business market. You should be doing that, but it's not something I morally feel right to do. So I'll wait. If someone wants me, if someone wants to play with me, then I'm 100% down to commit, put everything into the game. But if no one's willing to have me, and you know they have other options, then nothing I can do about it.
Okay. Then the ultimate question is coming from my chat all the time, which is everybody has said, like, I thought it's a liquid. Did you contact them, and what was the thing? Oh, first of all, can you speak Spanish at all or not? Or just like your Spanish is really bad?
No, my Spanish isn't really bad. I can speak Spanish enough to like actually play the game.
Okay.
Right? And I could definitely learn in 4 months of, you know, stuff that I don't know, or like they'll comp something and I don't understand, you know? But I reached out to Bastillo, and he basically said that the boys already had someone in mind that they ultimately wanted for their team.
I know.
And yeah, and because I said, okay. I mean, what else am I gonna say to you? Like, the boys already ultimately found someone they want, and the contract was apparently already locked in. Like as soon as Yanya left, and they made the same decision that day. So I said, okay, that's perfectly fine. Like, good luck, have fun.
But I don't know. They should at least give you a tryout. What? Oh my god.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Oh my god.
There's no point.
Okay. I mean,
so my question is, when is the last day? Is it the 29th 30th. Or the 28th? Oh, it's the 30th.
Yeah. Wait, no, it's a 29th.
Add somebody.
Oh, it's the 29th, right?
29th. 3 days from. Oh no, 3 days from now. Sorry, 3 days from now 30th. Is 20. Today is 30th. So you have 3 days between that and this. Now I think in 20 minutes is the deadline for removing everyone. So we will see in Battlefield. We'll go that late in 20-30 minutes to see who was removed. I think everybody's already removed that we were checking around. So this is the topics that people wanted a clarification, because a lot of questions. Myself, I had the questions about, I expected you to be in Liquid, or in worst case scenario will be in Gild. That my guess. That was my first guess. Because even when I was in stream, people were asking me about Phony. I said, I have a feeling Phony will play champs, because I had these two in mind that you will be fitting actually. How you IGL perfectly, how you play would be a perfect fit. But now, out of the topics, we got all the answers. Now, design. Yeah, design now is with Timmy and Jin. How do you think, Monsoon, this kind of dynamic of the team will work? What are the roles of the teams? Because yeah, we heard someone will be IGLing. We have design and all the IGL. Even Jin in one of the videos, he said if both of them didn't want to IGL and Quaja didn't work, he can't even step and take the IGL role. How do you think this type of dynamic of a dojo will be?
Yeah, I mean, they're all obviously super talented and insane individual players that are all super communicative. And I think it's good that Timmy had some experience with another top tier team, especially at LAN, to be able to bring in that perspective, especially being separated from the position with the team before, because obviously a lot of people had opinions on what was going on with them, you know, with enemy and shit. But I think they're gonna find a good flow of just talking to each other. You know, that sorry, my cat's meowing, but the traditional structure of team roles, you know, a lot of people like to live and die by that concept, you know, but I don't think it's too necessary in terms of like the potential for success, you know. So I think that if they can stick it out and Design can keep his head on straight and Timmy's chilling and Jen Burton is, you know, putting his effort and energy in, then if they can stick it out 4 months, I think they're going to be a super good team as well. Timmy, like I said, has that experience playing with Moist and Waltzy and Gild for a solid amount of time too. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting because we do have the 4 months to be able to develop whatever skills that are necessary to fill whatever you need. I think they're all capable. It just comes down to whether or not they apply it, for sure.
Okay. I mean, what will be your guess for this team in a 4 month? Because I mean, it's too long to say. What do you think they will be ending on? Top 10, top 5?
Oh, what for
Champs.
LAN? For champs?
Yeah.
Oh,
Guess,
man,
first guess.
yeah.
It's a hard guess because 4 months to learn. Still.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard to objectively assign value and worth in terms of skill and merit to any team because obviously we see shakeups all the fucking time, especially in this ecosystem of Apex. The game is ridiculously hard, and everybody who has qualified and plays there deserves to be there and has a chance to win a set, no matter what it be. Same thing with Falcons getting last, or Fury getting top 4 in groups, and then top 2 in winners or whatever the fuck, and then placing bottom 2. I think that they definitely have the potential to be top 5 easily. I mean, design is Jen Burton alone has more experience and skill than any other team together. You know what I'm saying? So if they can just trust each other and enjoy working with each other and figure out some sort of structure for them, then easily top 10, top 5 for sure. Yeah, no doubt.
Okay.
I think as a viewer, they're a really fun team to watch because they're just super unpredictable. Design and Timmy, whenever they play together, they just have this mutual understanding of one of them just says they're about to do something crazy, and they both just no hesitation just do it. You know what I mean? That's why I think initially when they first played with each other, that's why they were really good, is because Design would make a crazy call and Timmy would just be all over it. No hesitation, just do it. You know what I mean? So I think they definitely have a very unpredictable ceiling for how high they could go.
No, they have a very high ceiling. I'm pretty sure if the team dynamic works, if the IGLing things works on until 4 months, I think this team has a really high ceiling. I mean, Jen is my ex teammates, and he's I always say it, he's one of the best, if not the best in the world on the sticks. And then you have a Timmy plus design made 4th in champs with enemy. Now you have no enemy, you have a Jen, so everything could be still possible, and it depends on the meta too much what the next meta will be. And jumping from Timmy's design and Jen to another team, we saw NRG adding Gild back, and then we have an X Team Liquid, like the Team Liquid in the past, back together. This team that made already 9th with no Gild, with Reptar in last LAN. And Phony, what is your expectation for this team? How do you see it? What do you think them ending? And yeah, how do you evaluate this move?
I think they're gonna end top 5 with the ability to win. I'm not gonna lie. Nocturno's an insane IGL. I think he's very discredited in what he could do, but he literally not only is he mechanically really good, but he can IGL his ass off. And I feel adding Gild, someone who's already very, very confident in the game, coming from a roster of Moist where they were just constantly fighting and killing literally everything with Waltzy. I feel Gild adding to this roster just gave him more firepower and confidence to just fight literally anything that Nocturnal calls. And I feel Nocturnal has improved so much from where he was in the beginning when he won. What did he win? That he had COVID or something?
Yeah.
He was going crazy. I feel now he's just insanely better, and I feel they definitely get top 5 for sure.
It was Sweden in the past, and this was Sweden where, yeah, they the last game that we won it, 0-1, they mispredicted the zone and they went to Cascade No Name where it was ending somewhere else. We talk about NRGs. Do you know, you spoke about Nocturnal and so on. Do you know that Nocturnal he dropped it in the last podcast as information. Do you know that he was thinking about completely retiring from Apex after the not making LAN, and the only reason he stayed, do you know what?
What?
AWC qualification. That he qualified. He told me this in last one, which is crazy, losing someone like Nocturnal out of the sea. That's really crazy kind of information. But yeah,
we got a chance to talk to Nocturnal, me and Phony at TwitchCon. That was another team that you reached out to too, Phony. Reached out over there too. But Nocturnal was telling us that priorities wise, like he's got his head on straight. He's very, very focused and locked in for this champs, and he's taking it like with the utmost like seriousness. And I mean, you add Gild to the combination, and you know, in the past he looked very, very comfortable with Gild, and I think since then Gild has grown to higher levels than when he first played with Nocturnal. So I mean, I think it's a very common expectation to think that they're going to do really, really well. I'm excited to see them play together again too.
Yeah, this team will be. I mean, as I said, like the ninth even in last LAN brought them back the confidence that they needed. Adding Gild is putting more confidence into them. The last, I think, in my opinion, the last meta was fitting them a little bit, like with how the team was operating. Now with the Gild, they can be, I think, even stronger because like Gild is one of the best rollers in the game. So we'll see. I think I'm excited for this one too. Oh, we have another more moves. We have Yanya to bleed. We have Empty removed from Gild. Where do we think Empty gonna be going? Is it Team Burger, for example, back? It is Pricey, Sharky, and Empty. We have. I mean, this is what makes sense in my opinion, which I don't know about. I'm just like speculating. Kurv was removed from Dragon, and when you have a spot in, if you have a spot in Champs, you definitely don't remove yourself if you don't have another spot in Champs. And the other spot in Champs, the only one that makes sense, it's Liquid, because he speaks Spanish. That's the only person that could speak Spanish except Phony. So he was removed, so we know that he's going to Team Liquid. And we have more things, but what do you think first of all about Empty Monsoon? Do you think he is going to Team Burgers? What do you think about as well Empty's move? I mean, he definitely has a spot in Champs because he removed himself. Definitely has a spot in Champs, no matter what. And yeah, about...
Yeah. Well, I can't lie, I'm not very connected into the social antics and the politics in Apex, as you guys probably all know. But I mean, MT is a phenomenal player, and I've heard rumors of there and that. But I mean, MT did tweet a photo of a burger, so Burger might be returning for sure.
Yeah.
As for the players, I have an idea, but I don't know anything in particular. Regardless, though, MT's a phenomenal player, and anybody who gets a chance to play with him would be lucky. So, love that guy. Can't wait to see what he does. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Okay. How do we think about the move from Yanya to Bleed? Bleed is already a very established team. Bleed is like, you know, like it's dropped with Noct, and now they added Yanya. I think Yanya is exactly the type of player they are searching for. Is a person that knows that he IGL'd already, he has the firepower, he brings the information, his English is definitely good, so enough to be playing in an English team. How do we feel about what is the expectation from Bleed right now? They have a Raven as a coach as well. Like they have the formula. If we speak about, they have the formula to succeed. What do we go about expectations on a team like Bleed right now, and how do you evaluate this move? It's a sad move that he leaves Team Liquid after all these years together, all this time together. How do we talk about this one? How do we think about Yanya's move?
I feel like it's really good. I feel like he's like a very like assertive player for their team in comparison to like Shubi. Like Shubi was definitely aggressive, but Yanya's just like on a whole nother level of aggressive.
I mean, yeah, Yanya is totally self-sustainable in the idea that he is just like turned his team from the start. You know, when he came out as Ganjamin, everybody thought he cheated. Nobody expected anything of him, and he paved the way as an IGL and the identity of the team leader. So being able to take all of that experience and apply it to somebody else like Dropped, who has good work ethic and plays a shit ton and wants to win, especially with Noct too. Noct is super like the mediator essentially. I think it can be good. It sucks to see, but ultimately, like, team culture, I think, in my opinion, is a big impact on the overall success of the team and the happiness of the team individually and whatnot too. And when team culture or situations or relationships are stagnant, then it kind of feels like you're not growing, which probably led, because Jaguars and Niesel are a fantastic team with Pistillo. They've done significantly well. I mean, it's nothing to scoff at. They should be absolutely proud of what they've accomplished together. But much like the transition for Hal over to Falcons, sometimes a breath of fresh air is nice, and it reignites that passion and that vision for how you need to develop as a player, you know? So I fantastic team. I'm excited to see what they do for sure.
Yeah, dropped on Yanya from contesting each other at stacks and everywhere, fighting each other in one of the Pro League splits. into now a teammates, and yeah, they definitely becomes the contenders for the next champs.
I definitely think it's a good move too, because I know Dropped and Yanya have always been cool. It's not like, just like some random link up. Like they've been friends for a good bit of time now. And I think throughout these last couple lands, you could see Yanya was having a bit of trouble IGLing in this type of meta. I definitely don't think they were as good as they were previous in this crypto meta. So to see Yanya with just full off the leash, just fragging capabilities with Dropped IGLing him, I think it's going to be an awesome combo to watch.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yep.
It's a really a good team. Oh my god. Before we go into the things, there is a tweet. The tweet from Strrafing, when he spoke about, like, he just like quoted the tweet from Dunk and was like, okay, I love esports with all my heart, but I really struggle with the abilities to change rosters so frequently. And then Strrafing had an opinion about it. I don't know if somebody of you read this this tweet. It was like, what most people don't see is that behind the scenes, complacency and immaturity is the name of the game. The Apex esports scene as a whole is ill-equipped to deal with these issues. The problem doesn't lie solely with the players, but also the environment that surrounds them. What do you agree or disagree with this one? And what is your take on that?
I was just gonna say I completely agree with that. I feel like the environment is more important than actually playing the game itself. I feel like if you're surrounded in a bad environment, like if the environment's like very negative, then it's gonna be very hard, for you to perform. A lot of people would say like, well, you just like you're not trying hard enough. A lot of people would be like, well, just ignore it and focus on the game. Why are you focusing so hard on the negatives? But in a game like in a competitive game, in any esports game, mentality is way more important, and it should be prioritized in every game. And I feel like every esports player mentality is a big thing. And I feel like a lot of people their downfall ends up being their mentals. And if you're surrounded in a bad environment, it's going to cause you to underperform, do things badly, and you'll focus more on that than even focusing on improving. And I feel like if you don't have teammates to help you in that sense, then you'll most likely feel alone. And when you feel alone, it's very hard for you to come back from that if things just completely get worse.
I think also from like a viewership perspective, people who watch the game can only see really what is there to see. For a team like SSG, for example, right? They didn't stream a lot of the scrims. They didn't really stream a lot of the tournaments. So like to a lot of people, like the Phony situation was like super, super surprising because they didn't know what went on behind those closed doors, what the moods were like in the calls, what they talked about afterwards, the VOD review sessions. Like they don't get to see all that. So it's, they can only really base their decisions off what they see on stream. Whereas like, the Phony situation, it's not my situation to speak on, but that was going on way longer than just the week before LAN, you know what I mean? Whereas not many people knew that because there wasn't really anything to be seen.
Yeah.
It wasn't like public.
Yeah, it's hard to invest because there's so many teams and so many players, and people have lives anyways. So I mean, that's the general consensus of the viewers is, they take what they can and they have an opinion and then they move on. You know what I'm saying? But as for team problems, I think social ineptitude and a lack of experience to form the tools necessary to navigate your problems, let alone solve them, kind of leads people to fall back onto what's comfortable and what's easy and what's convenient for them. And a lot of the times when you're sitting behind this fucking screen, it desensitizes you, right? Totally desensitized and like the other facets of this as a profession and as a livelihood, Like you don't see the people, you don't see there's no confrontation, there's no conflict. Especially, we just came out of COVID. And a good bit of our players are 19, 20, 21, which means that during COVID, they were finishing high school. That's a big shakeup in a lifestyle. But, you get this experience through, obviously, just like real life. Like you get experience online, of course, but the array of context of perspective and experience is very dimmed down and restricted, especially with esports as a whole. So a lot of people would rather do what's convenient and comfortable and fall back onto what they think is good, right? Because nobody has an answer people say they have recipes for success, which is like objectively like work hard, whatever. But all these people just want to like plug and play and do what feels good with the vision of what they have, you know. And that's why it's like, oh, it's way easier instead of trying to figure out how do I navigate, you know, communication and prioritize things and flaws within the team and independently to like better just the entire ecosystem so that we can thrive. You know, people don't know how to do that, especially in esports, right? We see it all the time.
I mean,
so yeah.
I mean, this is what bad performance as well do. Like for example, for Phony's in situations, because there was a bad performance, AWC, whatever bad performance, even scrims. I think this was what building up when AWC came, that they did really bad. I mean, bad for the expectation of a team like you, because you already saw when the team has someone that can make this synergy works and the bond works, whatever it works, you can win. This is the expectation. I'm saying you did bad. I guess this was the reason of a bad performance. Some people would say why TSM stuck together when AWC did not work for them and did not make finals. They did. Maybe they didn't find a better option to change for, because that's why actually during the time there is no one to change. At that time, I think I bet 50-50 if Phony at that time left and said to TSM, may I join? There would be a big thinking, yes, you might join. Might be at that time at AWC, after AWC, because both teams that did actually not good, but then I want to join. It might happen. So that bad performance, I think they didn't. I don't know if they like. There might be a thinking, okay, might change, might not, but there is no other better options. They stuck it together. They did good again. Same as SSG, stick together, did good again. I mean now, but for TSM did good. They continued because there was like a real thinking of leaving or changing. And here in his situation, maybe there was a real thing of I want to leave, but the bad performance is definitely a big reason teams split, sadly. And you need someone that really mature in between, building all this type stuff, stopping stopping anything that is bad between the players, and that's be a good coach. And the coach is not only in knowledge. A coach is definitely a good communicator, a good human, and a mature human. Not like even any bad person that cannot be a coach, even if he is the GOAT in knowledge. If you are a bad human, you definitely will fail at one time. No matter if you can even get the recipe right now that tells them I don't know, if your brain is a cheat and you can even put your brain the cheat inside of the players at one point, something will go wrong, even with the cheats, let's say, something will go wrong, you will you will be performing bad, and that guy is a bad person, he is not going to be helping you, he's even putting more fire into that. A coach is a very important. I think for your case, you needed maybe a coach that can solve those type of issues very early, and you could have been stuck together.
Or just facilitate it, you know what I'm saying? Just like mediate the conversation necessary. Because everybody overthinks and then you don't communicate and then it snowballs into whatever the fuck everybody needs to tell themselves to feel good about it. So,
yeah,
sure.
A lot of passive aggressive just like builds over time too.
If you have one in your team like Monsoon, you don't need a coach in your team. You'll be doing that stuff.
No, I need a coach, man. I need a fucking coach too. And that's what I'm thankful for.
Yeah, that boy Caprine putting in work, man.
Oh my god.
Caprine's putting in work.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, no. I mean, like just like the bad blood stuff. It definitely can solve it immediately. I mean, yeah. No, I'm talking about the point. But cool. I think we last point into that, which is, do we think there is any key element that or consideration that can keep those rosters last long together, even though like through the ups and downs? Is there anything that can keep those rosters together for longer in esports, in Apex as well?
I think it really comes down to the org and the investment of the org. A lot of these orgs are like, yeah, we'll pay these fucking players, let them be self-sustainable. If they ask for a coach, we'll get them a coach. You know what I'm saying? But these orgs aren't necessarily looking to invest into the morality of their scene and their teams. It's a business decision for them, you know what I'm saying? So if every org was like, okay, here's all of our divisions, we're going to hire some good people that we've put through the process that have experience to oversee that, and those people were invested in it because they care about it, they care about the players, they care about the scene, then that would be probably the strongest step for esports as a whole in terms of holding people accountable and making sure that people are reliable. And I think a good example of that recently was DSG. Before, DSG was like, no roster changes, play with this, or play with Q or some shit like that, because I know everybody wanted to split ways, you know? And they're like, no, you have to do it. For better or for worse, like objectively, like with results aside, like it gives these people opportunities to be get comfortable being uncomfortable, because through uncomfort you fucking grow. You know what I'm saying? So I think the easiest step, right, that directly translates is org's investment in the mental facilities of their teams, for
Yeah.
sure.
And the coach, I think, should get a little bit of a more
A coach. Yeah.
more, and there should be a more power if he's a good coach. Is a good
Yeah.
connection between the org and the players. Should a little bit have more power. That comes when the org is caring about the players, and the players sees that there is a really something coming out of that. Maybe they even hold the spots. I don't know. Like, this is different topics, but a good coach with a good power, I think, might be in between. Good. So if I ask now, we finished this one, but there is a last question about the Rostermanias and transfers and so on. If I ask each one of you, what were, in your opinion, the 5 craziest Apex transfers in history of Apex? What would you be putting on?
I mean, the Hal one, I think, first comes to mind right away.
Mm-hmm.
Hal leaving TSM was definitely a big moment. I'm trying to think what else.
I think I have 2 of the craziest ones. I'm not gonna lie.
I have my 5 written down.
I think I have 2 of the craziest ones. I'm not gonna lie. So I'll literally just step out of the conversation. 2 of mine are crazy, so y'all can take the next 3.
Oh man, I think Snipedown joining Hal back in the day, you know, for TSN, I think that was pretty significant. I think Koifel leaving Sentinels and joining Liquid at the time, or who the fuck were they? Xset?
Yeah, but
Xset,
No,
I think.
Sentinels. What?
Well, Sentinels left, or Koifel left Arcan on Sentinels to go to Xset
Yeah.
with Nocturnal and Fun. I think that's pretty significant. Shit, Jordan and Hal early on. I remember that shit. I remember when that happened. That was fucking awesome because he was playing with Prod and T-Hump. And yeah, shit. Fuck, what else?
Isn't it Mac one of them?
Walter.
Mac leaving TSM? That could have been like considered as one of the
Yeah.
what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one was
100%.
crazy too.
Without a doubt. I mean, him leaving TSM.
Are there
after-
any non-NA ones that come to mind?
Oh no, not a single. I mean, I would say the only one that comes to my mind, that non-NA, is Yuki leaving Nasky and moving to Alliance. That was the only thing that comes to my mind instantly. Like that's actually a big one from Mia, but most of them are the crazy one are NA, because I can remember one topic which is like all of that justice for Noct's getting
Yeah.
dropped. Not getting
That's
dropped,
another one too.
not getting dropped from C9. That was a crazy. Emiya, you can say like, okay, lately is Hardeki's from Aurora getting.
I guess you-
That's definitely the craziest. Yeah.
I don't know if it counts, but somebody was saying like Zero and Gen coming to NA from
No.
Apex South.
Yeah, but that doesn't count as an epic transfer of a player, because for me, I think my 5 I wrote them. I said like Hal to Falcons from leaving TSM, Jin move right now, Mac leaving TSM, Noct getting dropped, and the 5th one is, I don't know if I will put Phony into that because that's after a win, that can count as a crazy, or another one that changed as well the history of a team, which is his Watson going to Furia. That was a kind of a crazy
fair
move.
one.
It's a crazy
good
move.
one.
It's a crazy move, not because his Watson like was in a team that he moved crazy, but type of a move. I classify it as a change something in the game, because there wasn't crazy as a change at that time, yeah. But because he just moved Furia from somewhere to somewhere, and then everybody was speaking justice for Tech, whatever was it at that time, and then his Watson, like it, in my opinion, would be crazy. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
I think that's a fair list.
And
Yeah.
That one was a good list.
what about yours, Phony?
I was gonna, me personally, I was gonna say, How to Falcons. That's a really good one. Mac
Listen.
leaving TSM, really good one. Maybe being dropped, I guess. That's
What-
another one.
Fair.
Another one, I would just say maybe Effect to Alliance, but that's just EMEA. I think that was pretty good. I think that, and then I would honestly include his Watson. I think his Watson was probably the craziest one, me personally, because I feel like he just had so much impact in how the game played.
Exactly.
And I feel like he literally created a meta. Nowadays people aren't as creative as his Watson was. I feel like he genuinely created a meta. And right now people just follow each other. And I feel like no one's really creating a meta. I feel like everyone's working together and just, seeing what works. As for him, he was the only one playing something different and genuinely creating a meta where everyone decided to hop on it.
That's crazy. That's a good list too. Like, I mean, Love it. There is one topic I think we forgot, so I wanted to speak about in the last Rostermania, but I forgot until now. Strafing. We saw the Battlefy here. I mean, Easy Flash got removed. Player K wasn't removed. I don't see him removed in the list at all, and it looks like even Nahil left the squad. So it's Strafing Flame didn't leave it. So Strafing is still there with player K holding the spot. So what is happening? Are they getting a third? What is happening? VP, who is the third of VP right now as well? Because there's nothing clear. What is happening of those two? With those two, we need to wait until the last minute, which is 3 days from now, to know exactly what are those. What are your speculations? Anyone can say speculations.
I think they should pick up Phony.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I genuinely think they'll probably pick up some fragger from like EMEA or something. I don't think there's any like NA fraggers that they'd probably pick up, to be honest. I feel like most of their pickups will probably be from EMEA, or because I don't know anyone within their region that they would even want to play with, to be honest. I don't think there's anyone like in particular. But Tyler's looking for a team.
Tyler.
Arctic got like 4th, 5th. He's looking for a team. You have a bunch of other people looking for teams that performed in the EMEA LCQ, and I feel like none of the NA LCQ ones like actually genuinely they would want to play with. I don't feel like they have like any showcase in what they can do. Tyler's played at a LAN. He shows what he could do. He did fucking amazing with Alliance. Arctic has done phenomenal in LCQ. Barely joining our roster. It was very, very crazy that he didn't even qual. If you watch all the VODs back, he was actually playing out of his mind. I feel like he would be a very good fit for one of them. And
yeah, but
those are my 2 picks.
But they need to have the resources to be able to move there for BLGS, just like you said, because that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, correct.
So
but
I
honestly don't know.
Yeah,
but I honestly don't know another APAC South player that can fill the role that they want, that genuinely has showcased themselves at LAN. Not a lot of APAC South players have showcased themselves at LAN. EMEA players have way more than APAC South. So that's the only reason I say EMEA player. I mean, if they do choose the APAC South, it's more of comfortability because that's all they can do, and they can't pay for an EMEA transfer.
One more topic that I forgot it as well about Rostermania, because I want to have the opinion about it. We know that Fnatic removed or like swapped Satuki with Miltistera. How do we think about Fnatic right now with Miltistera? He's one of the craziest players. Like, he's a really insane player as well. Like, Satuki was really good. They said, I'm pretty sure when they spoke about it somewhere, that it wasn't anything about performance of the player. It was like, and they wanted a different dynamic of the team. That's why they wanted to get. Oh my God, Monsoon! Oh, and he has the correct exact.
So
he's got the.
Brought that boy back.
He got the exactly one. So how do we feel? How do we feel about this move? How do we even evaluate right now? Fnatic with Miltistera, especially they are playing at home soil. What do we think?
Yeah, I mean, I think Miltistera was a fantastic. I think the roster before Satuki was I mean, it was great before. Miltistera is a fucking fantastic player. So I mean, it makes sense because I mean, there's not a lot of super top JP pros that have, like we've been talking about, proven themselves on LAN. So the fact that they're making a swap for this chance for home territory for the next 4 months, I mean, I don't talk to them too much. I talk to Gunboy a bit. He's cool as fuck. I love those guys.
Yeah,
but I don't know like the internal like culture, the politics on how they're feeling. But I think Miltistera was a great fit for them in the first place. He's a super positive player, plays a shit ton, and he's super fucking good at the game.
Bro, I always see him LFGing in top 50. He's always playing the game.
Yes, he is all the time.
Yeah, 100%. So hopefully hopefully everybody's just happy with the situation. You know, Satuki showed himself he's a fucking fantastic player. Hopefully he finds somewhere. But I'm hyped for Miltistera to be back with the boys for sure. So
okay, Miltistera,
I agree.
If you see this one, Nyoso. He knows what it is. He knows what it is. If you see this one, Nyoso. Good. I think we are good with those topics. Greg had one question that he wanted to go back to. Let's go, Greg.
Yeah. So this was about the transfers and stuff. I talked about this with my chat too. Obviously, the players are going to work around the rules that are set for them, right? Do we think that there needs to be a change in the rules, or how they have that original 2/3 part, but add it to where like one player and like a coach can't hold a spot. It would have to be two actual players, not like the coach. Do we think that there needs to be a change with that, or do we think that that's just cool left alone how it is?
Do you know? Do you know what the funny part is? I had this topic here. Where is my questions? And I decided to leave it so it doesn't like. We saw that there is a sub plus player or a coach that should be this one, like hold a spot, like DSG for example or E8. Should we keep
Right.
it? I mean, this is a good topic. I mean,
But there have been other examples too, not just now, but it is a very common topic that comes up. I feel like every tournament, because there's always at least one team where like two players leave or two players get dropped, and then it's one person and the coach, and they're able to just have free reign and pick up two new completely players.
I feel like it should be fixed. I just don't know how to fix it, me personally.
I think
yeah.
I think my opinion, my personal opinion is only players should be having the votes onto that. I mean, two out of 3 players should be holding it. The coach shouldn't be holding any spot. That's
I
my
agree.
I think it's a little difficult because right now coaches can technically be subs, and subs can technically be on stage too. I mean, regardless of anything, people are gonna fucking find a way to exploit it for their own gain. So yeah, I don't know what the fix is.
Well, if it's set to like the two players that like, let's say, actually played in the pro league, or the two players that actually played at LAN, then I feel like you couldn't really do like a sub or coach loophole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
For
I
sure.
feel like that's something they should look into. But yeah, I don't really know the surefire fix either.
I don't think there is a fix. I'm not gonna lie.
no, there is not.
We assign them all EA guided representatives that dictate what rosters do. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
No, I'm just
We're
kidding.
just-
That would not work.
we're just performers.
Okay. Next topic. Why is Kimchi asking me how long do you want to rip this one still? Like he saw a long script. It was like, how long do you still want? Are you like playing rank with him or something? Monsoon?
Yeah, I was supposed to 27 minutes ago, but it's my fault for not asking how long this is going. And we play ranked every day, and I don't have the chance to be on a podcast with you guys every day. So fuck Kimchi.
Yay, Kimchi! Chat, can we get some not fuck Kimchi but W's for Monsoon, because no, we don't want to go for the fuck Kimchi.
And fuck Kimchi.
Can we and fuck Kimchi,
We
but
should
don't-
hate watch that fucking guy.
no, don't do
Everybody
this.
go to his stream and
That's
report
it.
him.
Not me,
Oh my
not me, chat. Not me. No. Okay.
Nah, my bad. I got out of control. I want to apologize to everybody.
Okay, go back now, and I mean we have a new topic now, and this is the Epic's competitive future. This is something that's important for every one of us, because this is the game we love. This is the game that we are. I mean, you work for. You get like the things, and you want really this game to be going bigger. But before we go about the viewership and stuff, there is one topic that our question I wanted from your experience. What kind of pros and cons you take out of ALGS LANs events, because they're the only LANs we got so far, really good ones except EWC. Type of, if whatever you want to speak about, like organizing, communication supports, travel supports, visas, venue, transportation, anything. And if you want to speak about only pros as a no cons, completely fine. Whatever comes in your minds, what do you think you can take out of this event as a pros and cons, or pros only from experience?
I mean, I think NA is pretty privileged in the ability to get quick turnarounds and acceptance for visas as a whole.
Yeah.
So I don't think any of us have really had the concerns that other people do. But it definitely fucking blows when they haven't announced where the venue is going to be, and then it's a month and a half out and
Yeah.
shit like that, you know? But the opportunity to travel and meet everybody is fantastic, and that's one of the benefits of having champs 4 months away, is
Yeah.
that, you know, everybody has time to fucking
Get
it
visa.
through. So yeah, hopefully we have the best turnout that we've ever had, and everybody that has earned their spot and deserves to be there gets the opportunity to do that for sure.
Hopefully. Yeah, so I mean the same. I mean, I will be agreeing with you. One of the biggest cons that happens is just like the visa issues. I would say this is something you cannot control as a tournament organizers. Well, in this case, it's let's say ALGS as making this LAN. You cannot control. You only can try to influence by giving more time. Sometimes it's out of your hands.
Yeah.
You can't really do anything to it.
100%.
Now, in this
I was gonna
case, it's
say,
perfect.
yeah.
So, what about you, Greeks? What are your takes on it?
Well, to piggyback off that, like I know I've gotten to talk to some people in like EA and Respawn behind the scenes, and it's like sometimes you know, they send certain representatives to certain arenas, and then there's problems with the contract. Some venues are booked in advance a year, so it's like a lot of the times it's not
in their hands.
ultimate. Yeah, I guess you could say like it's not their objective to just announce it 1 month before. If they could do it before and everything gets locked in with contracts and everything like that, they would obviously want to do it earlier. I think this was a step in the right direction. It's a little unfortunate that it's 4 months away, but that's why BLGS was created, is so that there was something in the middle. But I think in terms of like viewership and tournament, I think maybe some experimentation would be good. I think, for example, BLGS adding other maps in the map pool is good experimentation, except it's not for like, let's say, a LAN. It's more, that's why it's more online, so it's just like in the testing realm. But I think even maybe adjusting LAN format could be something they could look into. You know, for example, how they did EWC, where, you know, the 20th team got cut out. Maybe they do something where it's, you know, top 17 and the bottom 3 from the first bracket get bopped out, and then they could mess around with that, and then mess around with match point. Maybe they do a 60-point match point. Maybe they do 55. It's like they could always experiment a little bit with the format to make it like better or worse for the players. So I think that's like the first step they could do for sure.
Okay, nice. Funny.
I think the biggest pro are the hotel rooms.
with the transparent glass, right? Okay,
100%.
That's how you build team bonding.
That's exactly the the team chemistry, team synergy is getting into here. Okay.
Amped, baby, amped. Yeah, amped. Sorry.
Okay. Crazy.
I feel like there's a lot of pros and cons about the LAN, but I feel like if there's one thing they could switch, is like the engagement with the audience. I feel like a lot of the audience doesn't get to see, you know, the pro player they want to see, and for the meet and greets, they have it to where you have to sign up for the meet and greet. I feel like the orgs, if they're really invested in the game, they should force, not force, but they should sign up for their teams themselves, like the managers or whatever, for the team to have a slot, you know, to meet up with fans and actually engage with fans. Because I feel like a lot of the fans that were at the LAN, like I was walking the whole venue, and a lot of them like, oh, have you seen this person? Have you seen this person? And I was like, and I just had to tell them like, oh, you'll probably see them tomorrow, or you'll probably see them, and they probably never saw them. And a lot of these fans want to engage with the pro players, and they want to, you know, get a signature, get a picture, you know, it's lasting memories. And I feel like a lot of the pro players, like, you know, don't do that. They don't want to sign up for meet and greets. I literally saw Moise do 3 back-to-back meet and greets, like because nobody was signing or waltzing them, because nobody was signing up for
meet and greet.
For meet and greets. So they just took the slots. Like some of these teams need to sign up for these slots, and you know, I feel like it should be allowed.
Yeah.
Are these teams or players? I'm sorry, but I have to say it. I don't know who did, but are you brain dead not to do it? Because that's your biggest thing you need to do, is to connect yourself to the fans.
No, I agree.
How do you miss such an opportunity not to connect yourself to fans? What?
No, I agree, but
need to.
I agree,
But
but it's more of a team discussion. So all the team needs to agree on going to the meet and greet, because it's not just gonna be 2 players at the meet and greet, 1 player at the meet and greet. It should be all 3 players at the meet and greet.
Yeah,
you know,
it's hard too, because we play 4 days in a row, and sometimes you play at 10 a.m. and then at 6 p.m. too, and then you know people kind of get lost on the sauce.
I know another issue that they run into is on those first 2 days where like we're there like all day, and let's say there's 18 games to be played or 24 games. Sometimes I forget, but like, you know, we may finish at like, let's say 9:30 or 9:45 for the day, and the venue actually closes at 10. So like when all the games are concluded, it always seems like security is just like pushing people out, that like players, and for example like us too, like we don't even get to see all the fans that we want to, like because they're already getting like pushed out of the stadium, and then the players are getting on the bus and going back to the hotel on the shuttles.
Okay, so back now on the topics we started talking about is the viewership of Apex Competitive. I mean, the viewership of Apex Competitive is not really bad, but I mean, it's not really so low, because we saw there are so many peaks. We saw, for example, EWC, when we saw Wiggs' stream, I think he picked like 70, 80, 90. I'm not sure exactly about the number. He picked like a really high number. That's high number still. Could be even in other esports is getting bigger. Yeah, the game is more popular, I agree. But a lot of casuals, for example, are not interested into that. A lot of people are not interested into that. What can we do to pull more views and popularity into Apex esports? Because all of us cares about Apex esports, about this game, competitive Apex. What do those viewers expect from the Apex competitive, and they are still not getting not getting, like, we're not giving them those ones, or we are not getting given this thing? What can we change to pull more viewership?
Yes.
I would feel like I mean, the game is solely based off like competitive. When you come to actual viewership, nobody's really watching people for, you know, ranked or pubs, you know, unless you're like Fade or something. Nobody's really watching you for that. Everyone's here for the competitive pro scene. When as soon as scrims start, that's when you see the viewership immediately go up. And I feel like there needs to be from, you know, not just us, but EA itself. Like, we need to all work together somehow to, you know, build competitive way higher than it is right now. Like, ranked should be rewarded with something, so ranked could feel like it's competitive, because competitive is what people like to see. Competitive is people would like, they like to watch in this game. Nobody really watches pubs in this game. It gets very stale, you know. But competitive, everyone loves to watch. Everyone. There's not a single person in the game that doesn't love to watch competitive.
I mean, I was always thinking about this topic myself, so I wanted, like, what could be really improving this idea. I think I got two things in my mind. One of them,
I got one too.
Yeah, one of them says, casual sometimes when people says make ranked a little bit, or make the game mode a little bit closer to competitive, some of the casuals that they never changed it said, who told you that casuals will care about it? Casuals haven't tried it. I think if the games itself becomes a little bit of a, let's just like give them the glance of what is competitive and see what they think about. I think this one might be a little bit driver interest. Second one, which is a very important, which we are lucky now that we have something in, is more tournament into the game. Because when you put more tournament into the games, ALGS now, for example, I mean, this is the biggest example. We got ALGS in here, tournament in the game, more money, get something. I don't know how you can get that, but when you get more tournaments, will be more pros are streaming that type of content, more people will watch party that type of content, maybe viewers will be interested. But Greek has one more takes. Let's go for that, Greek.
Well, I think something like an in-game tab in the game to make it easier for people to see like what tournaments are going on, when they're going on, stuff of that sort would help. But I definitely think the overall quality of the game, like the more people playing Apex, I feel like would translate into more people maybe looking into comp too.
Yeah, 100%.
I think like if we got to the point where, I know the whole combat against cheaters is a very like tough conversation. I don't know if there really is a way to stop it or whatever. But if we could get to the point where we had like, let's say, weekly cash cups and stuff like that, I feel like that'd be a cool as fuck to add into the game too.
Yeah, even for just Apex coins, you know what I'm saying? That'd be fucking sick. Another thing that I think that would help too is I think they're doing a good job now, at least transitioning and being more content focused, because the content pieces surrounding the personalities of the players has been a massive fucking hit, right? We talked about it earlier about how teams swapping players and shit kind of hurts like the brand and the narrative of the team. You know, people don't really have like a storyline to back and shit like that. So that's why like that transition into focusing on the players' personalities is going to help a lot. But obviously incentivizing orgs and players to be more active with their communities, like the meet and greets and stuff like that, that would help a lot. But also better relations between EA and orgs as well would be fucking fantastic. You know, if we had better support on top of the tournaments and we worked with more in-game cosmetics and shit, which I don't know why we haven't yet. I know we were supposed to, but then whole rabbit hole. But I think that would help a lot as well, you know, because I don't know if you guys remember 2016, 2017 League of Legends and Counter-Strike content. You know, I was fucking there. I was invested in these players and teams. It was amazing watching these docuseries style videos on how they practice and all that shit. And there's not really that like behind the scenes look. Like, yeah, you can go to people's streams and shit, but that's the personality, that's their brand, that they present themselves, you know? But in terms of how accessible and convenient is it for the viewer to invest emotionally into, like I said, the narratives of the teams and players, is a little bit more difficult. Was more difficult before, but now is also very difficult. The booths in the actual venue and event, fantastic. That's a great step, of course, but there could obviously be a lot more. I'm
for example, something like ALGS is a super amazing to have it, because it combines two things. First of all, that the dead time between the two tournaments it's gonna be filled with something. That scrim's gonna be run because of that. Gonna be tournaments. Second thing is the casuals will have the chance to play in the same lobby as the pros they are watching. Like there will be fans for Monsoon, there will be fans for Phony, there will be fans for Greek. Well, I mean, Greek will not be playing in the lobby. Maybe he will play, I'm not sure, but they will not be playing against him. For Hal, for Zero, for Jen, for all of those players, you can count many, and then they want to have a chance to play against. Second is more scrims will be run, more competitive stuff in the downtime, because the most thing that hurts 2 months running 2 months, nothing in between. Fill it with something. I think this is a great add to the things. The BLGS, no matter how the outcome of it goes, it's just a great for the viewership, great for the love of competitive.
And that was the whole goal of like why it was even created, was to give it that, like when the ALGS series was first announced, like when I first came to comp, was like the winter circuit, fall, autumn, spring circuit, and like you played those long grueling days and you didn't know who was going to be in what lobby, and you played, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, multiple rounds a day. And you know, I think it's a good way to bring the community a little closer, because you know the people who have been watching comp so closely and playing ranked and stuff like that, they get a chance to just see what they're made of, you know, just shoot in there and just see what happens. They don't lose anything by signing up, and if they get first rounded, they get first rounded. If they get second rounded, third rounded, then they look forward to the next week or the next competition after that. There's 4 weeks to play. They add up all the scores and they have that regional finals lobby. It's not just like 1 weekend. It's stretched to
bridge,
give it that.
right? To connect them. Yeah, 100%.
It's amazing. Please
No, I was
sponsor.
gonna say they can make like faction community days, or like, you know, weekly tournaments where it's like faction based, where, you know, they select four pro players or 4 players who stream, and they have their community of like 15 people, you know, 60 people get in a lobby, and they have, you know, community wars where, you know, they fight for like domination, you know, they fight for capture the flag, stuff like that.
They
like,
fucking love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
they love it. They fucking love it. And the community would be so engaged. And I feel like if you add a prize pool to that, you know, or not even a prize pool, like, you know, in-game cosmetic if you win or stuff like that, you know, I feel like the community would be so engaged to not only playing it, but to stay there and watch for further.
So we are talking about like a weekly or in a 2 weeks periods of having
Weekly,
such a
2
content.
weeks, it doesn't
It's
matter.
the
It would
opportunity.
the opportunity would just bring it.
Give them a content tournaments to connect them a little bit to the comp. Gets more. I don't want small tournaments. Look, I don't care about a small tournament where the pro teams plays, because to be honest, for example, when there is a tournament of 20k, right, happens, that doesn't bring too much for the viewership, except for that day it's played or second day. But when you do something like BLGS, is not only the tournament, it's a 1 month of scrims, or even if it's a period of more, then it's 2 months of scrims that is driving more interest. Plus, those people wants to play against it. So add us something, please, like this idea in the between breaks. Get us a BLGS every single time you can, please. EA, I know that it costs money. I don't know how to get the money. Just do it. I have no idea how you can make it, but get us something like this in between. Get the content stuff. As I said, I don't care about the 10k or 20k that runs. They are nice if they run. They are nice. But for the viewership goal, what we speak about, I don't think it's the one that you gain viewership from. Yeah. Even if you do BLGS for not for 100k, if you do it for 100k, I think still it will be in a good one, really good one to go through. And then you can make it globally, all teams plays together in one. I don't know if you make it a LAN, I don't know, 200k would be good. Okay, to the viewership topic. One important thing that can impact viewership, which I think, I don't know about it, is meta. The meta that is played at the tournaments. Like how important, first of all, in your opinion, the meta that it's during the tournaments going to be played, or that during the season going to be played, and if the meta is affecting too much the viewership, why are we getting a meta like crypto that is boring for the viewership, and we know it's boring for the viewership? Why do we get such a meta if it's an impact, or it doesn't have an impact at all? What do you think? What is your take on that?
I mean, I definitely think at some points the meta definitely affects the viewership. Me and Wig definitely have noticed. For example, people are sick and tired of World's Edge. There were literally times where we noticed lower viewership on the times when World's Edge was played, and then it picked back up once World's Edge left. I think it was like the first day they scrimmed on EWC. Also, the viewership went up, or for EWC, E District, sorry. So I think definitely just adding even just tournaments of different formats, I think could increase the viewership. Like for example, I think it's what on the 30th they have the Grow Cup, and it's all like throwback teams. I feel like so many people want to watch something like that because it's different. You don't see that all the time.
Yeah,
you know?
that's the content stuff. It's a nice one, yeah. So the thing is, I mean, I think we are almost sure. We're still not sure, but like there is like this POI draft is added already into the game modes for ALGS, so there might be a chance of next year in year 5 that E-District comes in. And E-District coming in, I personally like E-District. From the time I run in it, I still don't know everything about it. E-District has like a little bit of a unique things it offers, which is the building designs, the fightings in the buildings, and such a type that you don't see it in other maps. Really, it has so many uniques. I think we counted that time when we were doing it. Games like Stormpoint or World's Edge has like 5 to 6 unique buildings. So like unique design that can repeat. While E-District has 12 of them, except the main buildings that are not gonna be a dog, but like 12 of those buildings that can repeat. That's actually just showing you that I have a signature. Could be nice, could be amazing.
Yeah.
We will see this one, yeah.
Sick. He just fucking awesome. So.
Okay. Do you think then for a viewership or for the future of this competitive, do you think kind of teams are viewers are a little bit tired of watching only, for example, 3 players type of a mode into the tournament? Do you think making something like duos or four players like quads or something will be this one interesting for the viewers? Will it increase the viewership as well?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, 100%. I think that like obviously in this era of esports, the competition alone, like how many games are there that have fucking fantastic esports that people love right now? There's at least 7 or 8 titles that are relevant, you know? So obviously any sort of evolution or change fundamentally to the viewership in the game is going to excite people. Quads would be cool. I don't think they necessarily have to achieve the same results that they need in terms of viewership. But of course it would be a shakeup. You'd see a bunch of different teams, you'd see a bunch of different, play styles emerge too, utility usages and team compositions would elevate entirely. And that would effectively be like, hey, this game's fucking new. Everybody has to learn something, So 100%. Olympus, back to the maps, like the new map introduction is fantastic. I mean, Olympus was supposed to be that fundamental shift of competitive Apex Legends for everybody in terms of how the dynamic of the map was, you had like the utilities to rotate, Valkyrie, Pathfinder, whatever, but you obviously couldn't necessarily utilize them all the time because you're in the middle of the opening and you die. So your game plan, more often than not, would be, hey, there's no fucking way we can outposition or rotate. The only thing we have to do is fight and try to get as much KP as possible. And I think E-District is a more refined version of that too. So I think that the introduction of maps would do the same for viewership as something as big as quads, for example.
Okay,
I agree.
nice. Okay. Let's see actually my viewers' opinion chat. Would you like to see something like quads added? Maybe a test in a future BLGS, not this BLGS, but maybe the next BLGS if it happens, hopefully. Would you think it's a good type 1 if you would like it, type 2 if you think no, type 3 if you are still undecided? Why am I having a lot of 2s? Okay, backs to the 1s. Okay, chat. No, not only 2s, please. 1s, please. 1s, no. Okay, my chat's undecided. Okay, it's really complicated. You see, once something like 1s coming, then 2s back, then 1s. Oh my god.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Someone even wrote solos. Hello? What the hell? I'm not gonna play LGS solos and watch it.
They want something different, whether it's solos, quads, or maps. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is where cash cups come back into the play. I feel like there should be cash cups where there's duos, quads, trios, and it would literally turn up the game a lot more.
Yeah, quad. I mean, but quads would cost a lot of money because as an org you need to hire a 4th player to get in. Then you need to get more. It's a lot of investment for an org. So how can they cover that if there is
I mean, for the community, not for ALGS. If ALGS turns into quads, that is a lot of money to spend on players alone. That's just gonna rip the bank for sure.
Yeah, but then again, that could be balanced out if EA were to invest more in the orgs and the relations between the two. So there's definitely answers for that, no doubt.
Yeah. Okay. So we are now we called about the quads, but now do you think the Apex esport ecosystem is actually supporting small orgs or even rising stars that they can actually find something? What could be happening is to first of all for scouting better such a players, get them into a place and getting these small orgs to be a little bit sticking around more. What should be done if there is anything to be done right now? Not from only EA side, but anything. Could be any solution for something like that?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think that the more development in the tier 3 scene or a tier 3, tier 2 scene with tournaments like Challenger Circuit's great, but ultimately it's not like the recipe for a healthy, thriving tier 2 scene or distinguishing between tier 3 or tier 2 and tier 3 to tier 4, you know? So if they wanted to put more emphasis and effort into developing and nurturing that entire ecosystem of the transitions of, you know, new competitive players and getting into competitive and finding that success and have like a scouting grounds that League has, you know what I'm saying? I think that would help a lot more in terms of support for smaller orgs and smaller teams and making that transition and that bridge possible and a reality for some. Because right now it's just like, oh yeah, CC, like you get into finals after a shit ton of playing, right? Like you have to get top 2 just to get into the fucking finals, and then top 8 goes, you know, bottom 8, whatever the fuck. And that's cool, but it's obviously a super convoluted path that was put there for convenience, just to have something rather than taking the time that it deserves and the attention it deserves to be able to really forge good, real paths for people. Because once again, like, people need to pay their bills, they need livelihoods, they need support, they need stability, they need consistency. And so I think that would be like the direct translation to finding that support for the people that want it and deserve it too, for sure.
Okay, nice. Anyone of you would like to add something on this topic, or are we clear on this? Up to you.
I mean, I don't really know. I actually don't
Fuck you,
know.
Phony.
Good.
I'm trying. Hey, fuck off.
That was Kimchi. Why do we get Phony now in? We were like F Kimchi before.
Fuck Phony, fuck Kimchi.
Kimchi is getting all of that, getting all the strays. So we keep it on Kimchi. He gets that.
My bad.
Sorry, Kimchi. Sorry. We just like to joke to you. Okay, I think we are done into this Apex esports talks, and we will move into the fun part, which I love it myself. There are two parts of it. First of all, our personal questions for each one of you about the game, not personal, about outside of game, Apex related, career, Apex career related. Second one is small game that we will come to it. It's called Rapid Fire. I played it with other in the last broadcast with my guests, and I will play it again here. I will explain it when it starts, but we start with the personal questions. And to be honest, the first question is disturbing me because I know the answer of Phony before we start, and that's disturbing. The question is, what is the best and worst moments in your Apex career right now, in Apex competitive career? And the problem is, I fucking know the two answers from Phony, so it's a little bit disturbing me that I'm putting this question on, but I have no idea. I have to put it on.
I'll start it off. Best was probably my best. I would like to say winning. Yeah, that was my best. But I think celebrating with Greek and Wig, like that moment, that interaction that we recorded, that was like my genuine reaction. And I feel like celebrating it with them was like my biggest win. I feel like I've been playing for so long, and they've watched me, you know, grow into the player I am. ESA, the caster that was there, watched me grow into the player I am, and, you know, winning it in front of everybody was just, you know, a dream come true. Even winning it in front of Snipe was a dream come true. It was like really nice. And my worst moment, you know, I mean, not playing in champs, that's probably one of my worst moments. If that doesn't happen, that's just horrible. So it's probably the biggest LAN to date in the place that I've always wanted to go to even compete in general in Japan, and missing it would be very shame. If it was like Europe, I wouldn't even care as much, but
I agree.
It's Japan, man. Like,
I know.
It's very depressing.
Okay, it's funny, if you get to play champs with any solution that's around, what would be then? This one would not be your worst moment. What would be your worst moment on Epic?
Okay, well, my worst moment, the second part, if it's not missing champs, then it would be, you know, with Snipe. The reputation that ended up preceding the Snipe situation, that's still lasting literally till today. If you go to Reddit, you literally see nothing but bashment on my name the whole way through. And I would like to say I did that for myself, but, you know, I can't also change people's actions. They do whatever they want for themselves. Me and Snipe are very, very cool.
Love
and
it.
I'm willing to team with Snipes. He's willing to team with me. We're willing to work together. So I don't see why it should still be a problem.
This is one of the things I wanted to say. Like, I don't think you meant to do anything of that, but this type of moments where you say something and then it just like hurts you back. And this is why everyone should be a little bit of a careful what they really wants to write. Whatever they are feeling, they need really to think about what they are writing. I know that you don't mean something like that, and that's a little bit, but now it's all of it cool, back cool with the Snipes, everything is cool. We go to Monsoon because nobody heard as well Monsoon after that. They cut the audio cuts between you and him.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah. I got 3 different moments, okay, that are fucking fantastic, that are equal to me, right? Real quick, one, winning the first playoffs with Reptar and Shiny. Me and Reptar hugged each other and cried about it because that was fucking life-changing. Never won really anything significant before. We won like a couple OT tournaments, but it's nothing compared to like a playoffs. Sure. Number 2 is playing an entire Pro League and qualifying into top 10 for London Split 2 with Cody and Luda. Yeah. That shit was fucking crazy. And then number 3 is getting into Grands recently into Germany, right? Because it's been a long time. You know, and I think that kind of validated a lot of my thought process and how I went about everything. You know, because with the process that I like to go, is just like fucking invest in everything until it physically and literally can no longer be together. You know what I'm saying? In terms of team dynamics, you know? So that kind of validated everything. And yeah, it was fucking beautiful. The worst, though, is definitely going on and winning the playoffs and then winning 3 OTs and then getting second place with over like 110 points in the second playoffs and then not even making it past like round 2 for the quals for the first ever championships. That fucking sucked, man. That sucked really, really bad. I think everybody was so depressed, especially going from like doing well into not, you know, my relationship with the game and the expectations of my teammates and myself were so fucking high. So when that happened, it was kind of like a holy shit, I hate myself in my life. But hey, we're here.
Yeah, yes.
So I think that's pretty appropriate.
Back here on your topic is I expected you to make finals in this LAN, and I had you in
you
my
did.
tier list. I had on my tier list finalist. I had you in my tier list finalist. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Kim was like, yeah, no, I talked to Privacy, and based on everything, like he has us in Grands, and I was like, fuck yeah, Privacy's the fucking dog, man. Hell yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we were working hard as shit too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because we fucking wanted it. So I'm glad that it panned out. Thanks for
amazing,
believing in us.
amazing. Good. And Greek.
Well, did you want it as a player or as a caster?
Give me both of them.
You like that one, bro. You like that one.
So that's
I know exactly what the fuck he's gonna say.
That's why we have him. That's why we have him here to have it double content from him. Let's go for
All right,
that.
so as a player, I would say the best moment was just being signed to my first org. Growing up, I always had like a tough time showing my parents that like I had something going with esports. So like being able to show them like an org contract and an actual monthly pay was like a breath of fresh air for me and like a weight lifted off my chest. And getting signed allowed my parents to like kind of get off my back a little bit and kind of let me like do my thing. So I would say that would be the best moment as a player. And then worst was that online championship that Monsoon was talking about. The first like 3 games going into the tournament, my team was doing really well and Phony's team was doing really bad. And we were landing right next to each other, POIs wise, and Phony griefed my entire fucking tournament and ruined the entire tournament for me. We both griefed each other and both did terrible. That would be the worst.
So you are actually contributing these words.
I hated Phony. I hated Phony for like a year and a half. I like hated him so much.
Oh, look at them now.
I built his B-stream career. He would have still been a player to this day.
That's the joke that we made.
That's the best. That's the best. Actually, what Phony did to you now, right? Because he griefed you the worst, but he put you in the P stream as well. So, salute.
Best moment as a caster. I would say would probably be the first Sweden LAN that we got hired to do the B stream. You know, there was really no rule book. There was really no expectation. It was just a, hey, we're going to bring you guys out here. You guys are going to be in charge of an entire second lobby that's going to be playing pretty much at the same time as the first lobby. You know, you guys are going to be doing observing and casting. Whatever you guys show is what the viewers are going to get. They don't really have like a command center. They don't really have any other POVs. Their only way to watch this lobby is you guys. Here you go. And they just gave us a setup, and it kind of just gave us the confidence and the first trial run of what is now the B stream. So I would say that was the coolest thing too, is just having that opportunity, and EA and Respawn taking a chance on me and Wig to do it.
Do you have a worst one?
As a caster, I don't know. I don't know if I have a worst.
I think if Wig was here, I know what is the worst one is when he lost his voice before the during the tournament. Remember when he had a really no voice and he was like stressed and he couldn't really go into the stream and the watch party, and you helped him in that. I think that would be his worst moment. If he was there, I would have expected this one.
Yeah,
but...
I don't know if I have a worst, to be honest. Probably like any technical difficulties. I think in LA there was like winners bracket finals towards like the end. I think we like lost connections and our streams went out or something like that, and it was like during one of the like final parts of the game or something like that. I'd probably say that.
You remember when you shit your pants and messaged me to bring you new ones?
I do remember that.
That's exactly the worst moment, I guess.
But I guess it wasn't.
You bought me your sweatpants to wear.
Yeah, you were pretty happy about it. But then you like looked in mine and realized that they were shitting too. And then yeah, I guess my bad. Didn't mean that. Yeah.
Good. So if you were any one of you to join a team now, if you have the power to join a team in EMEA, and replace one player in EMEA and take his spot, just the power theoretically, where will you go, Monsoon, if you have it? And is every one of you the same? And the Greek, you come back now to the player and you're not caster. You're a player now. I know.
Wait, am I first?
Yes, you are first, and I know where he was going. I'm telling you, I know where.
I would go straight to Aurora with Impulse and Oirin.
I knew it.
Yeah, those are my fucking boys.
I actually knew it.
Yeah, fuck yeah, you know everything, Privacy. It's not surprising.
Yep. Okay, Phony.
I'd probably go to Hackers.
So you replace Hackers or you play with Hackers?
No, I'd replace Hackers and then play with Unlucky and Defect.
I mean, yeah, get. But the thing is, do you think this team will fit for you, Phony? Because you need to think about something that you really like to, right? I don't think you enjoy playing on Edge, right? Because that's not your enjoyment. You played it. You played multiple times with the previous team, with a new team, and so on. But I don't think you enjoy it, do you?
No, I don't mind playing Edge. Like, I'm genuinely fine playing Edge. I feel like if the vibe is really good, then I love playing Edge. I love fighting. But I feel like if the environment is very bad, I fall back on comfortability, and my comfortability is rotating. But I genuinely love playing Edge. It's just if the environment's not as good as I personally can see fit, then I end up going back to comfortability and rotating.
Understand. Greek. I think Greek he wants to get to play with one of his friends that he plays grunts all the time, plays rank with them all the time. No.
I would say obviously I now cannot replace anybody that's in the top 10 in EMEA or
theoretically
any of those regions. Yes, theoretically.
Back then you could.
If I had to choose one, I would probably say I'd probably join GG and play with Blast.
I immediately knew it. I mean, I thought like, okay, he's playing with Blast rank all the time. I know that you would ideally for you, if for example Faye and Blast were in one team, and you just join them there because it will be the best for you. But like they are in different teams, separated teams. So I was like, okay, he would be definitely then playing with Blast because they are there.
Yeah, so, I think they're building something good over there, man. They've been really good.
Yes,
they've been really good, man. It's exciting to watch them.
I said about them in the split 1 playoff before it started. I said this team, give them the time. They are super hardworking. And then at the split 1 playoff, I said on my stream I was like, give them the time. They will be one of the best in EMEA. And they are really hardworking. And they are really grinding for that. Okay, amazing. So the fun questions there. If legends in the game weren't buffed or nerfed since the release, exactly every legend is a stock legend, what do you think is the best meta right now? What could be the best meta or play the meta right now? If all these legends were stock legends, I think I immediately have 2 legends in my mind. 100% I'm putting them in no matter what. Should I say my 2? But the third one is debatable. Horizon and Seer. They are just the fucking broken legends when they were released. Horizon and Seer.
Oh. Oh,
They
okay.
were
You mean
like-
stock, like
Yeah,
okay.
stock off release.
Yeah.
I think
Oh.
Horizon, both Seer would be just like broken as fuck.
So
Then
you're
you
trying to
ca-
create the most broken meta.
No, I mean, yeah, you get all these legends now exactly how they were released. What will be your meta for that? I think the third one is debatable because they are for you might be different.
Oh.
Would be debatable because Pathy was OP. You have a Wraith was OP. You have a Lifeline off release because on the zone you could have got drone. The drone wasn't even broken in the zone at that time. You don't lose it off stock. They just patched it and you were like losing the drone in the zone. You'd have just like healed in the zone out of the zone. There would be even another, and the healing was super fast and so on. I mean, there are so many stuff. What do you think? Yours, Monsoon.
I mean, shit. Seer, Catalyst, Valk. Valk is obviously stronger now than she was stock because you can see fucking everybody. Horizon, Seer, Catalyst. I think Catalyst was fucking nuts off release. No.
No, not
no.
as Horizon. I mean, Horizon was like you could pull people away from the behind the walls with the ult. Your Q has 100. Your Q was super fast. You get the Q again when you got back on the ground when it runs. After 1 second, I think you get it back again immediately. You had this
Horizon's definitely
incredible speed on the Q.
I think we can all agree on Horizon for sure.
Yeah. I think Horizon's
I think
good. And if not
too.
Horizon, it'd be like.
I mean, it would
something
literally be the
like,
both of them. I'm just trying to really think of the third.
Catalyst, Caustic. I don't know. I mean, Catalyst makes the. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm faded than I have.
Okay, so think about it. Horizon plus Seer, they need one player for rotations plus actually adding fight of things. Maybe some people will argue.
I don't think Wraith would be bad.
No, you had
That just feels like the obvious answer, you know. Wraith feels like the obvious answer.
I still think Catalyst would be better overall for rotates and security and fighting than Wraith would be.
Or Pathy. But Pathy wasn't.
Back then, there wasn't even recon beacon back then, right?
There was
no energized zips, no, yeah.
And you were like only the survey beacon were for the zones. There were no UAV for sure.
I'm trying to think of that too.
Yeah. Horizon Seer could scan it, so you get this point out immediately. Seer was able to scan that, so this one is off your shoulder already. Horizon is amazing. The third one would be, I don't think Pathy is what you need because Pathy was assassin, and I don't think you need an assassin on that. Like you had a cooldown on a grapple. Wraith was a portal plus as well, like kind of I think what you need, like this insta Q is a crazy, and I don't know if the lifeline.
And the portal was longer back then too, right?
Yeah.
Somebody was saying somebody's saying Caustic couldn't even get his traps shot out back then.
Yeah, that's just why I say either Caustic because of that, because he was strong as shit when you had infinite or invulnerable traps.
Yeah.
You could just stuff people so easily at that point.
And you wouldn't have to rely on the volatility of like taking damage on rotate with TP or like being, I don't know, predicted, I guess.
Okay.
It feels like so long ago too. I don't even like remember some of the stock legends.
I remember a lot of them, but like not everything. I mean, I played since as well, like the same as everyone here. Everyone wanted Seer Horizon now. Some people are dropping it with Wraith, some people with Lifeline, some people with Valk. So many of that. Okay, Pathy.
OG Lifeline with the shield. Too.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like harder. People wanted Watson. No Watson. Which meta do you think, weapon meta and legend meta, was the healthiest for Epics, in your opinion? Epics competitive. Healthiest.
How do we define healthy?
No cringe things, nothing, no concentrated in one playstyle that is super defensive.
Yeah, totally.
I
guess it's kind of hard.
Weapon meta, I think I know the answer immediately. For me, is like the AR shotgun in the past was pretty good. SMG meta even itself, if you just, I don't know how you could be doing it without an DG, would be like an incredible, like AR would be for me, that was good.
AR shotgun for, I mean, we saw the most outplayability, we saw the most creativity as well. The only shotgun meta that was shit was the Eva, when the Eva fired at 2.2 at fucking Purple Bolt. That was crazy.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I think pump shotguns and AR with bubble and other shit like that, like even SMG meta, Digi's definitely fucking killed it. But before, like, it was still just ego swing whoever hits more shots, you know? There wasn't as much creativity in terms of how you're playing your peaks or how you're getting into the minds of other people. So I'd agree. AR shotgun for sure.
Yeah, I can agree there too.
Oh my gosh, get me back or what?
Yeah, I mean, fuck.
In terms of meta, that was going to be my answer.
That was fun. I'm not going to lie. Gibby was fun. Gibby was fun as fuck.
Fuck yeah.
Either the Valk Gibby, I can't choose between Valk Gibby Caustic
Nah,
or
that
the
shit was boring.
octane or the
The
octane blood
Octane Gibby was
that shit
that
was
one was
so
way
fun.
funner.
It was
Octane Blood
so
Gibby was
fun.
way funner than Blood Gibby fucking Costa.
Wraith.
That was boring.
I think Wraith
Everybody was
hella
rotating
fun,
with the
too.
octane pad, bro. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, that
It
shit
was silent
terrible.
too. That's why. It
Yeah.
was silent. Nobody was able to
Also-
hear it.
So we will go for the game, for the fun game. Do you know it? Anybody saw it in the last podcast? Or should they?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
So the fun game is, it's called Rapid Fire. I will give you a word and I need you to instantly, within 5 seconds, to instantly give me the first thing comes into your mind. We will start, because now if my cam, how it is oriented, we will start from Monsoon, go to the Greek, and then to, like, it will be like really Monsoon, Greek, Phony, then the next word will go Phony, Greek, Monsoon, instantly. After I give you 5 seconds, and when Phony speaks, you need to speak immediately Greek, and the same, like, just like make the loop working.
So
Okay?
I'm always in the middle.
You're always in the middle. We'll go just like Monsoon.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous.
I'm nervous too. I'm gonna forget.
Oh, so it was fun. It was fun. We had some really fun answers as well. For example, when I asked them I had a nocturnal, raven, and Fnatic last one, and I told them one of the words was crypto. And then Nocturnal told me Imperial Hall. Like, what the fuck? I told him, how do you think even Imperial? And he was like, I can't get it out of my mind to have Imperial Hall in a frag. He's actually lost in his drone. And then Raven said noob character. Fnatic said Kashira. Anything just comes in your mind because of that word, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not nervous anymore.
So,
Monsoon.
let's go, Monsoon. You will start with you 5 seconds, and instantly the next one will be answering. If you answer with 1 second, Greek is forced to get to answer 1 second immediately after you. The same
Oh,
for
shit.
the same for Phony. You dictate the speed of that. Okay?
Bro.
Okay. Okay. Warm up.
Okay. And we start with the word is flatline.
Oh, I mean, fucking jittering, baby. Let's go.
Case Winnie.
My favorite gun.
Okay, nice. Good. Next word is Phony. We start with you, okay?
Okay.
ALGS.
Dropped.
Fun.
Fucking confetti, baby. Confetti and fucking lights and shit.
Okay. Okay. Next is from. We will start with Monsoon, and it's Emiya.
Amiya? I mean, fucking weird ass fucking team comps. Freaks. All of you are freaks. Fucking weirdos.
Alliance.
GG.
GG. Nice. Cool.
Okay, is it supposed to be? It's anything you think of. It doesn't have to be like a person.
I'm pretty sure it's one word, and you said
It's
saying
one
freaks. They're
anything.
fucking
Oh,
freaks.
one word.
freaks.
fucking
Weirdos.
freaks. Yeah, freaks.
Okay. Next one will be Valk. Phony.
Nessie.
Rotates.
Scoby.
Oh. Okay.
Scoby.
One of the words I know the answer that Phony will say, so I will see if I will get it correctly. Let me write it.
Never let them know your next one.
I know.
Okay.
Explain it.
Let me say.
Explain it.
Let me see if he says. The next word is this. Not this one. I will tell you what it is. And the word is. We will start with Monsoon. It's B-stream.
B-stream. I mean, the fucking goats. Goats.
Just the boys.
Fucking losers.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. You say
I-
fucking or losers? Which one are you dying on?
I-
Which ones are you submitting?
Losers.
I expected Greek to say something like like life or amazing. I just like guessed like this, but I was wrong. I can't really read everyone. I try my best. And the next word here, this one, what I guess actually Phony will be Phony's answer. And the word is, we'll start with you, Phony. It's coach.
Don.
Raven.
Kimchi, man.
Okay, look what I said.
Fuck kimchi.
I told
Fuck
you.
that guy.
I told you, chat. I told you. He would say Don. I mean, it's a clear, right? It's a clear. It's a very clear. Give me chat. I deserve. Huh? Okay. The next word is, we will see Monsoon. Japan.
Fucking champs, baby.
Yuka.
Love.
Oh, yeah, oh my god. For me too. I don't know. Like, I think love. I would go. I don't know. The only thing is the word I would think about it whenever somebody says Japan is Nyoso. Nyoso.
The riddle special.
That's the one. This exactly. Next one is Phony. MNK.
Bad.
Tap Sharif.
Superior.
Superior. Yep.
I should have said Gmail.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Typewriter.
Good. What? Okay. The next one is from Monsoon, right? Monsoon. R99.
Holy shit. Fucking controller, man.
One clip.
Trash.
Now it's, I mean, now would be trash. Yes.
Yeah, that's ass.
Mhm.
And nice week.
Ugly.
Loser.
Sex.
What the fuck? I don't know. I mean, if you ask me this, I would say like, I don't know, watch party, because that's first things come to my mind. But like, what the fuck, Lucy? I mean, I know you love him. This is a different topic.
It's a
Ugly
beast.
loser sex. That's a banger.
Like, what the fuck? I'm not putting this one in. Somebody wanted me to get a word in to make a drama. I'm not gonna put it in. Someone was like, oh, ask them about the word
Check your
snake.
phone, Greek. I was gonna say that. But I was gonna say that.
People wanted me to write a word called snake and then to see what everybody's in. No, I'm not starting. I'm not starting a drama because I don't want to will be the answer out of that. I will be really worried about having the answer like this. No.
If you would have said it, I would have said phony. I'm not gonna lie. That would have been probably the first thing that came to mind.
What the fuck? Okay. Greek, snake.
What word?
The word snake. He said phony.
I'm saying phony.
Hard.
I have a snake.
Oh shit.
So my snake.
My snake. I have a snake. My snake. What the fuck? Okay.
Yeah,
And-
fuck.
It's not an animal.
Amazing.
No, I definitely have a snake down there. Like downstairs. I'm
Down
no,
there.
like I have a snake. I have a lot of
Yeah.
Oh my god. So I think that was we reached already the end of the stream. It's 3 hours of a podcast. I mean,
holy fuck.
yeah, it's like 2.5 because we had like 15-20 minutes to wait for
Monsoon.
for Monsoon. I mean, because of
Hey, I got 2 kills and I
You-
left. I told
Yeah,
them
but-
my internet was fucked up.
I mean, you saved us, and it's. I think the people here in the podcast, in the stream, they love how Monsoon input was in. I don't think so many people saw this face of Monsoon, like kind of in such a talks and so on. That's actually so many people loved it. So many
Yeah, it was
people
very
loved
informative. I love it. It was
Yeah,
very formal, very
yeah.
respectful. I love it.
So
Hey,
that's
thanks
what
for
I'm
having me.
saying,
It was a
bro.
good time.
It's
So,
the stuff
yeah.
they don't get to see. They normally see
Yeah.
him just say that he shit his pants in the pre-lobby chat, but
Yeah, that shit's getting old. I need new content, man.
you
I
can
can't lie.
articulate, bro. You're good with your
Yeah.
words.
Piss my pants.
Okay.
Go with his hands. Go with his words. Good at everything.
Bro, you're
Yeah.
funny.
Yep.
You're funny.
Thanks for having us, man.
Thank you very much
Yeah,
for accepting
pleasure.
the.
Thank you, privacy.
Thank you very much
First
for accepting
podcast
the
for me
invite.
ever.
Oh my god, amazing! You should actually be on way more podcasts, Monsoon, as well.
Oh hell yeah.
I'm intending to make it like very often, like maybe once a week or once a 2 weeks. But I really love it. I really love to hear the input of everyone. I wanted to have a Greek for three podcasts already. Every single time he had something to do, like a trip, TwitchCon, blah blah blah. I was like, oh my god! Hopefully this time will work, and it worked. It worked. Amazing.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Thank you
Fuck
very
yeah.
much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
privacy.
thank you,
Hell
thank you,
yeah,
Phony, for
appreciate
saying
it.
yes as well, and thank you, Monsoon, for being really the how we say the guts up. Let's say, because you immediately just saved us, and with the gut inputs. Thank you very
Dude,
much
I
for
was
that.
hyped. Thanks for having
Thank
me.
you,
Good
thank you, thank you.
questions. I appreciate your energy.
Thank you,
Everybody's energy.
thank you very
It's good.
much. Thank you, and I would say then have a nice evening, and we will see you next time.